Hey, it's been a spell. Hey guys, welcome to the Moe and O photo show.
I'm Omar Gonzalez.
And I'm Mo Morales. Oh my god, it's been so long.
You might have forgotten who's who.
Yeah, way to wear the blue there. Hey, baseball's back, buddy.
That's why I rocked it. I figured, let's bring back the El Yankos.
Not to talk about the Astros cheating scandal.
But we have to.
The Astros played their first spring training game yesterday, and not one of the cheating starters was put into the game. They put all the minor league...
And they still got bombarded
They
with
still got
booze
booed.
and signs and we hate you, you guys suck. Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. So we're Yankee fans. We're totally biased, but I think baseball's a little bit... They kind of messed up how they handled the whole situation.
Here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that the Players Association did not allow baseball to punish the players.
Yeah, the immunity thing.
Yeah, listen, you want to talk to them, they can't be punished.
That's messed up.
So everyone's like, oh, they should have done this, they should have done it. But what I do believe baseball should have done is definitely remove the title.
The title. That seems to be the easy solution.
I think,
or
it's
also
baseball. It's been precedented. We have never done that before. I'm like, yeah, but has anyone cheated like this before?
Crazy.
You got people in the Baseball Hall of Fame that aren't in there because of cheating.
Yeah.
Yet this is acceptable.
It's such a bad time. So I'm very interested to see like when the Astros play in other ballparks. Mm-hmm. Man, they're going to be booed.
This might not last the whole year, but it's going to be a rough start for them for sure.
Yeah, I don't care.
But you know what though? There's a lot of people out there who are fanatics who will go to every game just to mess with them.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. There was one guy that went all the way. He drove across Florida from a Yankee thing just to hold the sign up. And what was funny was they said, oh, the Astros are still stealing signs because they took people's signs. That was the headline. So anyway, hilarious. We're baseball fans, so it's something definitely we should bring up. But we have not been at this for a while. We've just been totally lackadaisical. So it's good to be back.
Back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle. Talking to you, buddy. Oh, yeah.
So what do you think about these new Samsung phones? Have you seen anything about them?
I have. I saw Flossie Carter's unboxing of the first one, and man, that's a powerhouse. I'm not sure.
Before you walk away, folks, or turn off your earphones, there's a reason I brought this out. So go ahead. It's a powerhouse.
No, I was going to say, but $1,300 though. What is this? Is the S?
That's for the S20 Ultra, the big boy. So it's $1,399 starting, and then you have the S20, the S20, the S20 Plus,
the slower ones. Okay.
And they're still selling last year's model into this season, which they usually don't do, because they want people to have ranges. So Samsung has now done something unheard of for them. They have an A line, anywhere from an A10 to an A70. I think they might have an A90, but we will never see that. And those are like super awesome budget range phones, like $100, $600.
Yeah.
Then they have now the S10s, which start at $5 something to $899, and then they have the S20s that start at $900 to $1,400.
There's a great video, by the way, I don't mean to interrupt, but there's a great video for those of you interested in the Samsung phones. Does Samsung have too many phones?
It's probably possible.
And it's a great breakdown of all the lines that you just said, and some of them are so close. Like, do you get the plastic one, or do you get the...
That's why Samsung is the #1 cell phone seller in the world, because they give options all around the world to people who have, $5 in their pocket, and they probably shouldn't have bought the phone to begin with, to those people who just, $1,300 for them is just like getting a cup of coffee for you and me. So,
that's true.
But the reason I brought the phones up is because the technology they're using 48 megapixel cameras in one phone and two phones, and then 104 or 108 megapixel camera in the other. So they're using pixel binning.
Is that what they're doing?
So it's sometimes you get the full sensor, but if you go into low light scenarios, it starts binning pixels. So what that means is you get in the 48 megapixels, you get 9 pixels into one. So it cleans up the noise. It reduces the everything. It makes a prettier picture, brings out the light. And I'm thinking like, wow, are phones going too far now? Does anyone really need that on their phone? Or is it one of those things like once you have that camera in your pocket, then you need it now? Now it's official. It's what you need.
Yeah, it could also be one of those stepping stone things. Hey, look what we could do in the phone, and it's going to improve night sight. And think about, the most people use their phones to take photographs. And so all these little gimmicks and things help sell phones, yes, but it's also a stepping stone for the next,
But that's what I'm saying, because at one point, this expensive technology will be on the A10.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because it's just everyday garbage. It's like normal. And that's why I'm like, it's amazing how far they push technology. Where can we go from there?
Yeah, I know. And I wrote down, remember I told you when we got here, we had the same idea for what we should do for the show today. And what I wrote down was, have we reached a point of diminishing returns? Because I've been watching, or have stopped watching or I shouldn't say I've stopped watching. I've gotten less excited about
For
camera
instance,
reviews.
Back in the day, you see a DP review pop up on your feed. You're like,
Oh
oh,
my
can't wait
gosh.
to watch that. So it took me like 3 days to watch a video that I would have watched instantly before. And I really cut down on my consumerism of the video cameras, the GoPros, the cell phones. I'm like at the point where I don't want to know anymore right now. So I could be personally burning out.
I was going to say, are you talking information burnout?
I think I'm at the point where I've gone back to watching. You know what The Witcher? Oh, you know
The Witcher, the show on Netflix.
So I actually started watching Witcher video game videos, which are like from 2015.
As a break from camera videos.
So that, of course, has thrown off my algorithm. So,
no, I was going to say, I almost feel like let's start with lens reviews, for example. This versus this, and the reviewer will put pictures up on the screen, and like I can't tell the difference. Even looking on my 5K monitor, and it comes down to everything is so good now. I feel like what you said, in the last 6 months to a year, we're talking 2016 to now, in the last 4 years, you can make a chart on how good stuff has gotten, where a very inexpensive camera can be rocked, like something that's $500, $600. And I feel that watching videos now about comparing lenses is almost like a waste of time.
It is, because something Marquez Brownlee once said,
MKHD here.
The world famous.
Yeah.
His famous line years ago was, cheap phones are getting good and good phones are getting cheap.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing with everything in technology. Our cell phones, our cameras, our computers. You can get just as good. I built my own computer for under $900.
That's awesome.
And I got stuff in there that a few years ago would have been like $3,000 computer.
Would have been a room.
Yeah.
NASA.
Strawberry way they'll bring it in. But yeah, it's the whole point. Like where are we as a society that we can continue to develop stuff? Because I brought it up to you when I came in today. My point was, I saw they're leaking information on the X4.
Yeah, the XT4, the Fujifilm.
Well, the Fuji, whatever. No, okay, the XT4. and I'm like, really? I mean,
that's a perfect example. Go ahead, finish.
Because I believe the technology between the XT2 to the XT3, yes, it was a jump. It wasn't a life-changing jump. Like if you still have the XT2 like I do and Omar does, you're rocking that thing. You're making amazing photographs.
You're happy.
You're happy. The only reason you're not happy is because you have envy, gear envy. Besides that camera is still amazing. I didn't think the jump from the 2 to the 3 was enough that I needed to go run out and get a new one.
Yeah.
So why would...
Same with A6400, A6000, A66. It's like, damn, bro, there's so many.
So listen, you can have... It's like what Sony's doing with theirs, like, what I just did. I did the old shuffle of the deck,
The shell game.
Yeah, shell game.
They do the shell game. You're like, which camera do I have? 65, 66? Which one?
Do you need this? Do you need stabilization? You don't need it? Okay, it's over here. Go ahead. It's over here. It's okay.
It's so true.
It's like,
and what I was going to say is the whole crippling thing, I think, is a product of companies really struggling with, we can do the technology, with where do we go from, like, what do we do after? You can't make the perfect camera.
Right.
It's changing. Everything's changing too fast. They need to make money kind of thing. So I think holding back features was the first attempt to slow the horse of what you were saying was like things are getting so good so fast.
Right, and that's the whole thing. They're not aiming it at mom and pop in the corner who's going to buy a camera for Joey's graduation in 4 years.
Yeah.
They're aiming it to knuckleheads like you and me, or other people out there who are just like, give me all the tech and give it to me now. And they're like, all right, so here, this camera can focus up to the 51 area point. Focus. Next year's camera, oh, this one has 52.
I know. Well, I think
Next area,
companies
it's like,
need
this
to
one has
realize.
73.
Don't companies realize? Like, I think Canon's realizing it now because they're making this R5, which we may talk about, but the R5 looks almost like the perfect camera, and so they probably had a boardroom meeting. Should we cripple it or not? And if they don't cripple it, well, charge for it. Then you will separate the people. I think make a cheaper camera that's crippled for the masses so they don't complain. But then, charge a premium for the one that's perfect.
Right. If you find a perfect camera, make it perfect and put it out there. But, like, what is that phrase? The reason gum doesn't last that long is so you could buy more.
Exactly.
So that's what they're doing.
I know. They design washing machines and things to break in like 3 to 4 years once the warranty ends.
Warranty ends tomorrow. Come in on Tuesday.
Yeah. So I think our point, guys, is like, have we reached... I think in the last 2 years where the point of diminishing returns is now starting to hit us in the face. Are you guys sick of not sick of reviews, but are you starting to see through them? Like, hey, this lens has this, that. You know what? It takes good pictures. They all take good pictures. And I think we're getting to that point where the phones are all good enough.
You're still using lenses that are like 5-6 years old.
Oh my God. I don't use it that much.
The 70-20?
The 70 to
200,
200.
70 to 20. That's the reverse logic. My numbers have always been backwards.
Yeah, you're always like, you want a lens that zooms but then goes wide. It's so long, but it goes wide. The 70 to 200. I didn't fall for the hype. Well, I couldn't. I don't want to spend $2,000. But
Right.
There's a newer version of the 70 to 200. That lens is just so good already, and I think psychologically we need to come to terms with older tech.
Right. You just nailed that one right on the head, because the world thinks that because it's 2 years old, it's no good anymore. I can't present my client a picture from a 2-year-old lens. I have to have the newest and greatest one, or else my competition is going to. No, your competition isn't going to compose the photo like you. Isn't going to have the sunshine of attitude that you do. So don't worry about your competition having a great new lens.
Let me ask you if this has happened to you, where on Instagram or someone puts the camera and it says like, Canon 5D Mark II, and you're like, Mark II? That thing is old. I've seen where people put an older camera, and I'm kind of impressed. I'm like, wow, you never upgraded? What's wrong with you? So I have that in my mentality too. You never upgraded? One of my favorite YouTubers, Irene, she shoots with a 5D Mark III, which is an amazing camera. Right. The 5D Mark III takes amazing pictures. She's found no reason to upgrade, and her portraits are gorgeous.
When we started doing photography together, you had just had the Mark II, and then I remember when you bumped up to the 3, how our lives have changed, and even it wasn't even my camera, and I thought my life changed because I was just next to you, because like it was so awesome the pictures you were getting.
I could sit here in our meeting, like our addiction meeting, and I will say that I have upgrade problems.
We all do. We just. I think I've gotten it better under control because I was horrific. For instance, my perfect example would be this week. I left my Note 10 on the top of my car pulled off. And
First of all, why is it on top of your car?
I had too many things in my hands. I was
when you were trying to open the door.
Yeah, so I put it up for one hot second. And even funnier, I always have insurance on my phones. I took the insurance off on Wednesday because I was going to sell the phone on Friday.
Oh, that hurts even more.
So the phone busted into 1,000 pieces, I'm sure, because when I got onto the turnpike and I opened up to like 60 miles an hour is when I heard over the top of the car. And then I saw something behind me just go to a million pieces. I realized
you didn't have the magnet thing on the back.
No, not today. It was. I have a glass roof anyway because of my moon roof. But then I realized, like, oh man, I need a phone. I gotta get something hot. I gotta get something to replace this. And then I was going through looking for cases for my iPhone, and I found the Oneplus.
That proves you have too much stuff.
6T. And then I realized, I remember Omar and I went and got this when it first released. It was the first OnePlus phone to come to the United States and T-Mobile. And I've been rocking this since Friday, and I'm like, why did I get rid of this phone?
So don't you think that will make you happier? Almost like the XT2 and the XT20 make me happier knowing that you didn't or don't have something newer?
No, that's my point.
Do you know what I mean?
That's my point.
Doesn't that phone have something special now as opposed to something newer, or do you think you would still get rid of it?
Well, I won't get rid of it because obviously I learned I need emergency phones. But I think what this phone has brought back to me is it's a very simple, fast, awesome phone.
Yeah.
It's from 2018, but it's probably software-wise faster than a lot of the current phones. And it has Android 10 on it, which is the most current version of Android that's out there.
But like since its camera, let's say, is not Google Pixel camera, and so I think people probably need to come to terms with that.
That's the biggest drawdown of the phone. Luckily for me, I also have the iPhone 11 Pro, and that camera is banana crazy. So since I have them both in my pocket, if I need to take a picture, I'll pull out the iPhone. But for sending text messages, for reading the internet. Reading the internets. I'm so old. For doing anything technology-wise, this phone is everything I need.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a couple other things. So like televisions, for example, I feel that they, a couple of years ago, went through with what cameras are going to go through with, and phones, remember it was HD. Then they tried the curved screen thing, which didn't really work out. People weren't buying curved screen TVs. Then 4K, I think, helped them a lot. That the sales went through the roof. Everyone wanted 4K, even though there wasn't much 4K content. You can only get 4K now through streaming.
There's still very little,
TV,
even through streaming.
Yeah, TV's 1080p still, full HD. So I think the 4K thing helped them, but where do they go from here? Like now.
So since Samsung just also added 8K video cameras onto their phones,
they're pushing their TVs, their 8K.
They're pushing their 8K televisions, and I'm like, first of all, you're going to blow out about 13 gigs for a 5-minute clip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The point of everything is that's a super diminished return. And now the Canon R5 is rumored to have 8K that's coming out, and I feel like most people agree that they don't really need 8K.
If you look at a phone next to, if you put two phones, one is 1440, and the other one is 720, you may notice a difference.
I think distance, maybe.
Yeah, you may notice a difference. If you put a 1080p next to a 1440p or a 4K, I don't think you're going to notice the difference. And if you do notice the difference and your life needs to have that extra bit of resolution, you need to rethink yourself.
All right, so let's translate that to cameras. Like, what do you think megapixel is a sweet spot for people, where they don't really notice a difference anymore, they can live happily?
I think you need to be above 20 and below 36. I think somewhere in that range is the sweet spot for everybody.
And then so the megapixel war becomes like another
normal
selling point.
Us people. Now, if you're doing digital, prints of like products and stuff like that, you want every little
fine threads.
So then you should be in large format or media format. You should not be.
That's a good point.
With us, you should not be in the.
So with the Samsung that has 40 megapixel stuff, I guess that's just.
It has a 48 megapixel selfie camera.
Why?
What? I'm already ugly enough and have to put 18 filters.
Sometimes I zoom in by accident on the computer. I'm like, like your pores and
all the pores
and your old scars and stuff. Oh my God. And I've been filming in 4K my YouTube videos, and the other time I was zoomed in too much, and I almost threw up editing the video. So for the next one, I'm going to be like a tiny head like this. This is a good distance.
Well, that's because you need to be.
Man, yeah, totally. So I think what we wanted to discuss here, and I think we successfully did in this episode, is listen, understand that a lot of this stuff is releasing dopamine in you, getting something new, but the actual product is not really a huge leap ahead of your last one. No. The product cycle refresh, which began with phones, is starting to trickle to everything.
Right, cameras, televisions, horses.
Upgrade that horse, man.
Movies, stuff like that. So
the refresh thing is, and also these these shows, the pressure with these like CES and these Photo Expo and these things, they come out every year. Photokina, Photokina used to be every 2 years.
Right, because companies didn't have something every year.
I know. How hard is it to come out with something brand new?
Something that you're going to get a lot of people to buy.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I think most of the electronic people who buy every year are those people who are doped by the dopamine and need that rush.
Yeah, and I agree. I'm guilty of that. I search
Omar,
like crazy.
I'm not saying it's the wrong thing, because how many times the minute a phone comes out, I have it. I mean, it's just what matters.
I always loved your excuse for it, which was like, I could be addicted to other stuff that's more harmful.
Like crack cocaine.
Exactly. It's like, at least it ain't crack cocaine, yo.
No crack cocaine.
Yeah. So I always thought that was funny that you said that.
That's a sad.
Yeah, totally.
That's sad.
All right, so that's a good episode.
That's awesome.
Let's leave it there.
Get off.
All right, so we'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.